Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is
Trae.
the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a terrific Tuesday, and I'm really excited for my guest who's finally joining me in the Black Media Matters studios. Colina Bruce is here, y'all, and I'm so excited to talk to her about Noir Luxe Candle Bar, y'all. And y'all probably know of this brand. We have been there many a times in the field, but finally she's joining me here in the studio. So I'm so excited to bring her story to all of you all today. But of course, it's the top of the show. So you get to bring all of your friends and family to this show right now at the top of the show by sharing it with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness we give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our TV show, we still have you covered, y'all, because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me wherever your favorite platform is. There's like 200 of them. We're on all of them. Shout out to our podcast team for making that happen. Well, before I get into it with Miss Colina, I gotta say that there is something so special about building relationship with our local businesses. Now, y'all have heard me talk about this many a times, but as we're gearing up for the holiday season, I'm always wanting to make sure I'm putting that plug in your ear because there are some phenomenal folks who not only have different businesses, but also have brick and mortar stores for you to go and peruse, become a customer, talk to them, learn more about them. And what I love is that we see a lot of our local business owners are the ones that are also employing folks locally, right? There is a need out here for folks to have good jobs, secure opportunities, to be tapped into community. And our local businesses are one of those anchors that give those opportunities to folks and open the door. And I'll say that as someone who is always looking to circulate my dollars locally and encouraging you to do the same, this is the time before you start getting to that crazy holiday shopping mode. Many of you plan months before, but for those of you that sometimes wait to the last minute, I'm always going to say that this is a time to start gearing yourself up to think about where you want to spend your dollars and make a direct local impact on our community, but also on the families that are running these businesses. This is the time. And one of the things I love is, you find those quirky gifts for family members and loved ones who, they're going to want something a little different or something a little special that maybe you can't find at some of the big box stores. That's where you really get to hone in on all of the amazing local products and services that our businesses are offering to all of you. So there is a lot of great places to shop. And I will say that if you're looking at some of the smaller businesses, there are some local directories you can find that will allow you to say, look, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Maybe I just want to figure out what type of businesses are in a certain scope. If you're looking for Black-owned businesses, there are ways to tap in. And you've heard us talk about Hey Black Seattle. Well, they are doing a great job of ensuring that you understand some of the great businesses that are in our area that allow you to circulate those dollars into the Black community and support those local businesses. But there's also other directories too, right? And so be intentional this year when you are thinking about those gifts for your loved ones. I know for me, the December month is crazy, y'all, because both of my sons' birthdays are in December. My birthday is in December. So there's always a reason to celebrate. And I know that when I think about the needs of my boys, I'm always thinking, how can I make it more and more special, especially as they get older, because sometimes they just want money and that's fine. Okay, sure. But other times I love to be able to give them something that's a bit more personalized. And so So if you're someone who finds yourself looking for those personalized, more special gifts or gifts that have a story behind them or are supporting the story behind that family or that business owner, this is the time to start figuring out where to spread those dollars amongst all of our local business owners and in our local communities. Well, after this break, we get to talk to Colina Bruce, who's definitely doing it in our community with Noir Luxe Candle Bar, y'all. And I'm so excited that she's here to tell us all about it right after this. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Start the show.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on client discussing their fields and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. I'll see you guys in a few.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Colina Bruce. Hi.
Hey, sis.
Good to see you.
You too.
Finally, we're making this happen.
Crazy.
It's so funny because I'm like, of course you've been here before. You're like, no. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're gracing us on The Day with Trae.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Noir Luxe Candle Bar. Now, candles really have become a big business in Black community.
For
I
sure.
love seeing the different brands, but you really bring something unique and special. Tell us a bit about what got you started in candle making.
So I actually started during the pandemic. It was supposed to be just kind of a passion project, little side hustle. I really was like pouring candles on my lunch breaks. I was working at Seattle University. I had been there for almost 7 years. So I had my good job and I was, good. But I was pouring candles and I was like finding something really cool about it, just like practicing self-care and being able to light something that I created. And so I told my husband I wanted to start a business and he thought I was crazy. But went into just launching an e-commerce site and then going out into these markets and things like that. And it just kind of took off. So 2 years in, I opened a brick and mortar. So we've been open for about 2.5 years. And the concept is that people can come in and create their own custom candles in our shop.
It's really special because it opens up the opportunity for folks to explore something they may never have thought of, which is candle making, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about how your customers experience that kind of first time candle making experience.
I think it's really cool to see because the thing that's exciting about our business is it is a community hub. And we see all sorts of people. We see young folks, we see older folks, we see people of color, we see people who are just looking for something fun to do, people, corporate. It's just all across the map. It's like somebody can access candle making as a way to do something new and do something fun and practice self-care. A lot of times it's the ladies who are coming in. We see a lot of girls' nights, bachelorette parties, things like that. But we see a lot of date nights. And sometimes when the fellas come in, they're a little bit more apprehensive, like, oh, I don't, it's not really my thing. And then halfway through the session, they're going to grab in another vessel so they can make more candles. So it's just really cool. I think we use scent as a way to think about the benefits of aromatherapy, but also just like a pleasure. Something people just enjoy lighting candles. It does enhance your mood. It does create a nice ambiance. But in general, our goal is always to use candles as a conduit to build community. And so that's what I'm most proud of about our space.
It's great to hear that, because I love these specialized ways of building community. And we talk about it too in terms of like, our community was built for us when we were growing up because we lived near each other.
Yeah.
And now with this wave of gentrification and displacement, we have to find new ways of coming together and having these hubs of community that we know we can tap into, have a great time, build a sense of connection and conversation and relationship building that lasts, for long times. And so I love hearing you talk about the candle bar as a way to do that. Now, what type of process are you guiding folks through? I mean, because you're talking about, you got over like 100 different candles. It's a lot of scents to choose from. And I'm sure it can be like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of different choices.
It can be a little overwhelming.
How do you like guide folks through the process?
So we always start, first of all, our biggest thing is providing a warm, welcoming, safe space. I think that, especially in these current times, it's just nice to have somewhere where you can go and feel at home and know that, you're going to have a good time. So we always set the vibe. We have a nice little playlist, candles going, that sort of thing. When you come in, you get to pick out your vessel. So we have a ton of different vessels. Most people call them candle jars. We call them vessels. And then from there, it's a guided session. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 10 people in your session at a given time, sometimes 15. But typically it's about 5 to 10 people in a session. So you may meet someone new before you leave, but the instructor will guide you through the whole process. So the first thing is kind of learning about candles. We work with wooden wicks. Have you had a wooden wick candle before? Okay, so it crackles when it burns. They burn a little bit slower. They're more clean burning. So people get to kind of go through that process of like, prepping their wick, prepping their vessels, and then we talk about the benefits of the materials they're using, and then they go into picking out their fragrances, which I think is the most challenging part. We do have over 100 fragrances in our shop. I think we have about 182.
Wow.
But we don't give them all to you in any given session. So you can likely smell about 30 to 40 fragrances if you want to. But as you mentioned, your nose will start to get a little excited after 10 to 15 fragrances. So we have some tips for just tracking what you like, and then blending. So you can blend up to 3 fragrances and create a custom scent. And then that's kind of it. You become a chandler, which is a fancy name for a candle maker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've learned a lot since
I have
really
learned a lot. Yes. I always say I went to YouTube University. I'm self-taught. But it's been a great process. I think, as I mentioned, or as you mentioned, actually, just around the community building and creating jobs and being in a space where, we celebrate milestones, or we help people think about how to team build and be intentional in that way. I mean, I never imagined that this would be my job. And I never thought about all the ways that we could use candles in that capacity. So it's been really awesome to kind of be a steward of that. But I also just wanted to touch on something you said around just like supporting small businesses and just kind of where we are right now. The economy is not the greatest. We have inflation, we have all these different things, and people have priorities when it comes to spending. And so just, in the past few weeks, I've been looking at the data and like where we are with businesses that are closing. And a lot of time they're closing because they don't have access to cash flow. Or, people are waiting until the holidays to spend their money with businesses. And so I would just, encourage folks to consider if there's any way that you can use your dollars to go into small businesses. And if you can't right now, if you can repost a story, if you can refer a business that you've had a great encounter with, all those things are ways to invest in that small business, which is also investing in your community and keeping the cash flow going for those businesses and those families that are, doing what they can to bring something unique and special to the market. So.
Yeah, I really am glad to hear you say that because I think, there's a misnomer that the biggest way to support is with dollars.
Yeah,
And I always think about how word of mouth has been the number one way that people have learned
absolutely.
about so many things, even in the midst of social media and all
Yeah,
these tools that are handheld and we can have everything with us all the time. There's still something to be said, and there's nothing that can take away from the unique characteristics of me explaining my experience
absolutely.
in a
Yeah,
space to someone else because the all of the detail and the different layers and nuances that come with my personal experience are way better than any ad, right?
absolutely.
And so in this modern time, I think it's also important for people to just share their great
For
experiences. Like,
sure.
sure, maybe you're telling people around you, but even just a quick selfie video about the
Yes.
experience also, I
Yeah.
know really makes a big difference. But I love hearing you talk about, building team effort and
Yeah.
bringing teams in. So a part of your business that people may not know is that you also have like corporate clients who come in
Absolutely.
and you
Yeah.
see this as a way to build teams. Tell us more about those experiences for folks.
Yeah, so it's really crazy to think about, this venture that started in my kitchen, and now we're going to Amazon and we're going to Microsoft and Uber and Meta. We're going to all these places and finding ways to help people build their team and build connection. So we take all of our things out into the community. We set up a mobile candle bar, though we call it. And we guide people through the session. We do some intentionality and really think about, how you want to utilize your time with your team, but also your candle as a way to remember, different values that you're pouring into your team or pouring into your work and that sort of thing. So it's been really cool. I again wouldn't have imagined that this is what it would look like, but this is what we get to do, and it's really awesome.
I think when I think about, because in my day job, I think about my team and I think about the ways of building team. And so much of it, we talk about these relational approaches, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of management and supervision, how you as a leader connect with your team and how you open up the opportunities for your teammates to connect together. That is really a fun thing to be able to do,
Yeah.
but it's also super chill. So it's like,
It is.
nobody has to be overwhelmed. And I'm sure that it's a welcoming space with your mobile candle bar setup to just let people like kind of relax their shoulders a bit and
It is,
really get
yeah.
into the groove.
And we are rooted in self-care, right? And so it is a practice of self-care with your team, but we also really find ways to be intentional around sharing, what are you finding gratitude in right now and sharing that out loud. And some people find that they're learning something about their teammate that they didn't even know. Sometimes people will say, I'll usually start the session by asking, is there a bright spot or a carrot for you right now? What are you looking forward to? And someone will say, I'm looking forward to getting married this weekend or something. And somebody's like, you're getting married this weekend? So it's like, we get so ingrained in like the workflow culture of like just going to work, having your head down, doing what you have to do and going back home. But a lot of times, things like this provide an opportunity for us to lean into each other's, life experiences a little bit more outside of work, while also taking some time to just, while you're stirring your candle, you're smelling what you're creating, you also get to kind of have a moment for yourself. So I think it's a great practice, but we enjoy being able to do that with teams. And also, like I said, we do birthday parties, bridal showers. We've had a divorce party. We've had all sorts of things. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your team, because I know in order to have a successful small business, especially when you're in brick and mortar,
Yeah.
so much of it is about making sure that your team also is exemplifying the purpose that you
For
have
sure.
for this space. So
Yeah.
tell us about how you were able to build the team with that kind of intentionality.
Yeah, I'm so proud of, first of all, we are a team of all people of color. We all identify as Black or African descent. And so we just had a team meeting like last week, and I asked my team, have any of you ever worked on a team that had this many people that looked like you or that you could resonate with, and none of them had. So I think that's super dope. But when I started my business, I thought it was just going to be me for a really long time. And so And then my daughter, who was 12 at the time and is now 15, was our first staff member. So from there, the folks who actually joined our team were folks who came in for a session and inquired about a job. And so I always think that's really cool, is that someone came in and they had a good enough time where they were like, I would like to work here, you know? And then from there, we've had to be very intentional because you start growing really fast. And so we have a manager now, which is a big thing. We have 2 managers. We have a team of 8 to 10 people at any given time throughout the year. A couple of them are college students, so you know they're grinding, going to school and working with us on the weekends, or even we have one that's at Howard and she comes back home and works with us. So I just think it's really cool. I think one thing that we're really intentional about is just the culture of our shop and just making sure that, you know, anyone who comes through our doors feels welcome, but that we're also unapologetic about who we are and why we're doing what we're doing, which is to be a light in the community and, you know, be a hub and be an incubator space and all those things. So I get to lead that team, and I'm still learning as I grow. I come from the nonprofit sector, and so I do have some practices that I've been able to bring with me that have been really nice. But also when you switch from being a nonprofit to trying to get a bag, it's a little bit different. Yeah. So I have a coach that I work with, and we do leadership development and stuff like that, ongoing process. But yeah, I'm just really blessed to have an amazing team of people who love being in community and who love candles.
Yeah, so I think it's essential. But what I'm loving is the explosion of candle culture. This idea, what you talked about in terms of candles as a form of self-care.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you know, they provide some ambiance, great scent for your home. I recently, like probably in the last couple of years, really became a fan of candles.
Yeah.
And before that, I really didn't buy a lot of candles. I guess I just wasn't really into them or whatever. But the idea is that so many of our people started making candles.
For sure,
really opened my eyes up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I've heard so many different stories about people who started businesses during COVID, and, you know, oh, I did this with my sister. Oh, we just always loved candles. We started playing with scents. The idea that it's become such a great part of culture of like, you know, let me slow down. I'm going to take this time.
Yes.
I'm going to light this candle. I'm going to sit here and breathe. I'm going to sit here and enjoy the scent.
Yeah.
There's something so special about it. So I want to just thank you for the work you're doing and for bringing it out into community in such a great, phenomenal way.
For sure.
And now I'm like, oh, Trae's birthday party 2024.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, because I am really a huge fan of candles, and I really appreciate being able to buy them locally. So
yeah,
I just want to thank you. Of course, if folks are trying to tap in,
yes,
they want to plan their next party there.
Yes,
they want to come and get an experience. Look right there. Let them know how they do it.
So you can always find us on socials. We have a brick and mortar, which is in Lower Queen Anne, Belltown area. So you can always come in and see us. We take walk-ins, we do reservations. We do sip and pours, which is a private session where you can bring in your own food and drinks and pour candles. It's a vibe. And as I mentioned, we do a lot of off-site, so we can bring everything to you, whether it's your home, your workspace. People have rented venues, and we come and do candle pouring. And then you can also just find us in the streets. We're in markets all the time, doing pop-ups and just trying to slang these candles.
There it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
It's a pure pleasure. Y'all, this is what I'm talking about in terms of inspiration. You take an idea, something you love to do, and you bring it out for community to experience your passion behind it, and it resonates. Y'all, I'm going to wrap it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Here on Back to Besa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Seattle Opera presents the world premiere of Jubilee. Jubilee follows the historic Fisk Jubilee Singers' initial tours following the Civil War. While raising funds for the fledgling Fisk University, the group shared their music around the world, showcasing more than 40 African-American spirituals such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Deep River, and Wade in the Water. Jubilee is not to be missed. October 12th through 26th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. What an amazing episode. Huge shout out to my guests, Colina Bruce and Noir Luxe Candle Bar. Now, if y'all have not gone, if you have not bought a candle from them, this is the time to think about that person in your life who would love a unique scented candle that is locally made. You know, not only are they producing amazing candles, but they're also producing amazing experiences and ways to build community in their space. This is exactly why having more of our folks from community be able to have brick and mortar spaces really begin to set the tone for different experiences that your loved ones get to participate in when they come to visit the Great Pacific Northwest, and contributing. That's what these business owners are doing. They're contributing to the fabric and the culture of Seattle by bringing these experiences out for all to have, to share, to delight in. That's what gets me excited. So I'm telling you right now, I told you it's the beginning of the holiday season. Find your way to a local business and check out Noir Luxe Candle Bar for some amazing candles and experiences. You know, I'm going to keep bringing you amazing folks throughout the week. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Until then, at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.